trying to get the front suspension all tightened up. Want to see if I can take it for a test run within the next few days or so, make sure everything works properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish installing everything. I got the A-arms in place, I just haven't tightened them yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, install the shocks, which I think they turned out pretty good. That's pretty much it, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it together and see how it looks. Doesn't look like I've made much progress, but I've been concentrating in the front so I can take it for a test run and see how everything functions. I'll put the brush guards on. I think it looks really nice and sharp. Really like the way the shocks look. Really like the combination of black and red. Looks really nice. Can't wait to get the front fender on. Right now I'm probably gonna bleed the brakes, so whenever I take it for a test run I'll be able to stop, and then I'll just decide what else has to be done first. But just want to finish the front. Once I finish the front, I think I'm gonna start sanding the fenders, making those look new again. If there's nothing majorly wrong with the bike, but you never know until you actually take it for a test. So I know the rear diff may have some problems. I think it was leaking diff oil, so I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. I'm sure it's a seal somewhere, I just don't know which one yet. So I'm just gonna take it for a run, make sure the engine runs good. I'm gonna take it nice and easy so I can break the engine in, because it has brand new piston rings. I went with everything OEM on it, nothing aftermarket, just to make sure everything runs the way it should and don't feel like messing with anything from China. So everything's back to stock. I'm looking forward to putting all the fenders back on, and hopefully take it for a real test ride, make sure everything works good, but I'm sure it will. Getting ready to wet sand the rear. I already started in the front to kind of do a little test batch and see how I was going to tackle the rear. Like in the past before, I'm going to start with a 400 grit sandpaper, then 800, 1000, then 2000. I wish they had one in between the 400 and the 800, but they don't. I got my stuff at Walmart. I think they're like $3-4 per pack, but it should be enough to do the front and the back. So go ahead and do that. What I've done in the past too is I've used this wood floor polish, I guess that's what it's called. It's a Holiday House, I believe. What I've found with that is that if it gets wet for a long time, it comes out or comes off, and then it makes your fenders look like crap and you have to redo it again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a buffer. If you have one, great. If you don't, you can get one at Harbor Freight, which is what I did, just to try it. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something that wasn't gonna work. This is like 30-40 bucks. You can adjust the speed, and it comes with these pads that you can use on for the final finish on your fenders. Get a rubbing compound for the rear, and once you're done sanding it, dry it off, put it on there, and start the buffer. This is what I use for the final product. And it makes it look brand new. As you can see, this looks like crap. That's how the fronts were, and this is how the whole back is. And I'll show you what the front looks like now. Nice and shiny. It looks brand new. There's still a few little touch-ups I have to do here and there, but I'm very pleased with it. There are some really deep scratches. I guess I could get them off with the sandpaper, but you'll have to sit there and scrub for hours, and this is the part that gets really boring to me. Once you're done, it looks really nice, but while you're doing it, it goes on forever. So I just kind of did the best that I could, and the more you sand it, the better final product you're going to get. When you are wet sanding, make sure you have water, lots of water with you, and make sure your sandpaper is not full of sand. I think it's easier to use the bucket. I have a spray bottle, but the bucket, you just kind of let them soak there and then just get it out and start sanding. Wipe it all down, see how it looks before you move on to the next grit sandpaper. But this is the final product. If you want to polish your fenders and make them look brand new and shiny again, this is the only way I found that will do it. I will give it a shot. Just make sure you cover as much as you can. Sometimes when you put that compound, if you put a lot, it just kind of spits it out everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in the rear and get all these scratches out because it looks horrible. Don't think I'm going to get all of them out. They look pretty deep, but I'll get most of them out. They'll look decent, I hope. Okay, got the fenders polished, sanded and polished. I still have a few to do, like the gas tank and the ones to go on the side here. But I'm going to go ahead and start putting what I have together, just to kind of get a visual of what it's going to look like. I think the fenders turned out pretty good. They're a little bit dirty right now, so I need to wash it. But what I'm going to do right now is install this light bar I got. I think it's a 20-inch, but it came with these brackets. And so what I'm thinking about doing, so I don't have to weld or fabricate anything, I'm just gonna drill a hole through here, and then on each side, and then it's just bolted down. I think it'll be the easiest way to do it without getting aftermarket brackets. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then maybe install the other foot guard on the other side, just so it can start getting put back together and looking like a four-wheeler.